I'll tell you what, it's funny because I was joking about this with Martin, but I meant it.
Ever again!
Boy, Riley's doing things that would have got my ass whooped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yelling at my mom in the shower.
We don't do that over here.
Yeah, me. Shit, I don't care how much I sting my I better not yell at my mama like that.
I'm too gross to go anywhere ever again!
Boy, you
Would have got
sit
snatched.
your ass down. You better sit your funky ass down.
Would have got snatched by that ponytail.
You walked away alive? What the
Yeah, not only is your body funky, but you got a funky attitude, and it better calm down now. Yes, man. The emotions in my head would have been like, hey, man.
I ain't touching the button.
You ain't getting us killed, though. Just chill out.
I ain't touching a goddamn thing.
If she died, we died.
I'll be back to doing my comedy show in New York. And you can get your tickets now for that. People, you know that I've been going to New York and doing a comedy show there, and it's been going very well. The venue has been asking us to come back and just pretty much gave us a regular thing now. So I'll be there on June 21st, back at the Broadway Comedy Club and back in the Red Room, 9:30 show this time. Get your tickets now. These shows have been selling out every time we do them. And you can get your tickets by going over to BroadwayComedyClub.com, or you can go to Double Toasted NY and get your tickets now. Pixar. Everybody loves Pixar, boy. Now, Pixar is finally boldly going where most they dare not tread, where most fear to tread. And that is inside the mind of a teenage girl, not only a teenage girl, but a teenage girl going through puberty.
Yeah. Right as it's happening.
Yeah, boy. Y'all know how frightening that is if you ever had a teenage daughter that's in the same house with you. Sometimes you don't even know who the hell that person is anymore. Martin, did you go through that with your kids?
Not a lot, but every so often.
That's because Martin held it down like a black daddy should. I wish you would start that shit. Don't let puberty get your ass whooped. Yeah, you know, Pixar came in, they said, you know, we're going to try to help y'all as best as we can by showing you what's going on in this little crazy ass girl's head right now. What's going on up there? The rest, that's up to you. Don't say we didn't try to help though. And Pixar said, listen, we already did some of the heavy lifting. You know, we ain't going to those real, very awkward and uneasy places like we already did with Turning Red.
Right.
Yeah, listen, we ain't got to come in and talk about periods and tampons. And, you know, you thought puberty was crazy. Wait till they turn red. They really go crazy at that moment. But we already did that. So we don't even have to go there. You can go for that later on. You know, it's on video. It's on streaming.
Sure. Right. And watch it as a follow-up.
Yeah. People, we already covered that. But if you are familiar with Inside Out, and now Inside Out 2, let me see here. It has been many years since we've last seen Riley. I think if you go by real time, Riley, I think she's about 35 now. If you go by real time. No, actually, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true, but because it's been about 9 years since we last
Since we last checked in with Riley.
In Inside Out 1. Now, it's been 9 years later, so she was 11 or 12. Actually, she was 12 by the end of that movie. So that would make her about 20 or 21 today. Mm-hmm. Now, being that this is a family film, you know, we can't really explore Riley being 20 years old and, you know, going through her sexually experimental phase, you know, when she started maybe liking women and black dudes and stuff like that.
We're going to twist the rating.
Yeah. You know, we can't see how those emotions and characters in her head are affected when she starts drinking or maybe smoking weed at a party or something.
Going through her goth phase.
You know, there's some things we can't really do. So in real time, this is only 2 years past. Mm-hmm. And so now Riley, it would be around 13, which means that now she's starting high school. You know, she is hitting puberty. Riley is 13. She's in her high school. She's a good kid, man. She's a good kid. She's getting good grades. She's great at hockey. But all those good things become a little more complicated as they start to make Riley question herself a little bit more. You know, no matter how good you are, you know, when you start going through puberty, you start wondering, Am I good enough? You know, everybody looking at me. Do I live up to people's expectations? Oh, and don't even forget, things are changing so much. You might be even entering a different phase with your old pals out there. What used to be, or what you claim and call your best friends. Oh man, so many changes. And why am I crying all the goddamn time? You know, why am I upset? Oh, Riley's going through it hard, but thanks to, again, the personified emotions in our head, you know, we're going to try to figure all this out with this movie right here, Inside Out 2. And even more so, you know, say what you will about Pixar. We all love Pixar, but people have been saying Pixar is kind of going through a slump. You know, what's inside your head?
Man, after everything we've been talking about Star Wars and MCU and Pixar as well.
And Pixar's one of them, man. I hate to say it. Everybody's waiting for that film to put, at least for us, and people love Pixar, put it back out there to the Pixar that we love. Does Inside Out 2 do that? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Inside Out 2, and we'll be back with our review.
Riley, how was camp? It was good. Good?
She goes away for 3 days and all we get is good?
Yeah, sounds right.
Ask and answer.
Yeah. Back to the game.
That's sexy.
Riley is officially a teenager.
Yeah, man can't catch a break.
No.
Wow. You just think we're dumb troglodytes who watch the game all the time. Wow, this is why we can't ever get into ahead in life. This is why we'll never be equal to women.
Riley's new emotions. Wow.
Remember when we all finally came up to headquarters?
Go to bed, old woman. Oh,
That's your bedtime.
yeah. And that's ageist. Boy, man, Inside Out 2 just taking us back, man. Thought we were better than this.
Nostalgia.
That was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia.
Yeah, those were the days.
Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
There's a part 2?
I forgot to mention that also Riley, she is going to a hockey camp. And so she's making friends in high school, and you know how that is. You know, you're trying to impress the older kids and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God, this girl got it bad. She got it so bad. She's all mixed up in the head. She stinks. So, what's a Riley to do? I'll tell you what, it's funny because I was joking about this with Martin, but I meant it.
Ever again!
Boy, Riley's doing things that would have got my ass whooped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yelling at my mom and shit.
We don't do that over here.
Yeah, me. Shit, I don't care how much I stink. I better not yell at my mama like that.
I'm too gross to go anywhere ever again!
Boy, you
Would've
better
got
sit
snatched.
your ass down. You better sit your funky ass down.
Would have got snatched by that ponytail.
Who you raising your voice at? Oh, I wasn't doing it to you. I was just saying.
I was just saying exactly.
Yeah.
Did you walked away alive? What the
Yeah, not only is your body funky, but you got a funky attitude, and it better calm down now, yes, man. The emotions in my head would have been like, hey, man,
I ain't touching the button.
You ain't getting us killed, though. Just chill out.
I ain't touching a goddamn thing.
If she died, we died.
I'm gonna do something a little different because I heard these guys talking about it the other night. I heard you weren't there. Did you see it today?
No. No.
What are you talking about? Man, I'm gonna see it tomorrow.
No, the first screen was at like 4 o'clock.
Oh, it was? That's right.
yeah.
You over here watching the boys.
Yeah.
All right then. All right then. Well,
What can you do?
Nothing.
I know. It's funny. I was supposed to go see it with y'all, and I lost my goddamn car keys. I swear, the day of the
Wait,
screen.
were they lost in your house?
Yeah, it was under the refrigerator. I found them like 2
No,
hours.
don't make a face. I've done that before too, and so I end up getting tile to keep that from happening.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just wondering, as my adopted son, I'm wondering what's going through this boy's head.
He's his own
Because
inside
today,
out.
yeah, he's his own inside out. Because today he left the house and said, "Man, I'm going to the Taco Cabana. You want something?" And I said, "Yeah, give me 3 chicken tacos." And I was waiting on that shit too. And I came back in and sat down on the couch and looked off like, I'd be damned. He left his wallet right here.
Yeah, I got to the drive-through. I was like, never mind.
He's like, "You want some Wendy's?" I'm like, "No, I want a tacos." Anger was going crazy in my head. Oh, that damn Julian Green. Well, Martin, let me ask you.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
What do I think about what?
This. So you love the first one.
Oh, who didn't love the first one?
Oh, they're out there.
I mean, really? Because
Yeah.
as far as I know,
I'm playing.
as far as I know, not only was everybody loved it, they were surprised by it, and most people I talked to cried in it.
Yeah. So what's your impression of this one then? Loving the first one so much.
This one is good.
Good. Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Oh, that's not like
Speaking of puberty. Martin's voice cracking. Boy, this movie sent Martin right back to puberty.
You don't want to say it.
So you just all right with it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Like I said, the first one, besides it was doing the thing that Pixar does the best, which is give us a story that's they use humor to kind of like catch you off guard, and then they slip in there a story that's very human that just cuts right through to just true human emotion and drama.
Yeah.
And it pulls out tears. You go like, man, y'all just put it in a way I didn't think about. It really touched me. And this one doesn't quite have that same sophistication. And it's part of, kind of to our earlier discussion, Pixar has openly said, hey, or at least their corporate masters have said, you know what, we're going to focus on sequels from now on. And this is the first of those. And hey, when Buzz and Woody, they really work it and pull in something. But everything else they've done sequels with, it's always like, this is fine, but it never quite measures up. I mean, this is plenty good. This is very good, and I think every kid will love it, but there was never a tearjerker moment from it. And matter of fact, my description of this was, if you liked Inside Out 1, this is like a DLC of that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's keeping the party going and you're having fun. But you just, at least for me, I wasn't getting the same oomph that I got the first time.
Yeah.
So you didn't walk out crying.
No.
Okay.
I'm like you. Like I this one's not as emotional for me, but that's only because Pixar killed somebody in the last movie. So Pixar ain't really as murderous in this one. And also, with Joy, the character of Joy, voiced by Amy Poehler here, she's traveling across the mind again, and it felt like slight rehash of the first one. Just done with a different team this time. The first time she went with sadness. This time she got fear and disgust with her,
and anger.
And anger. Yeah. They're doing the road trip thing again. Positive side on that is that it did give everyone, again, something to do, since, fear and anger and disgust, especially disgust, the character of disgust, who's not voiced by Mindy Kaling this time. I forgot who's doing the voice.
Yeah, it was somebody I've never heard of.
Yeah, but she, disgust really has a lot more to do here. And so, I thought that, even though it was a little rehash, I thought that was cool. And, I still thought that, there was a lot of emotion and great writing going on, and a lot of fun with the humor. The thing about doing the whole road trip thing, which is what they're doing, they have to cross the mind again to find Riley's sense of self. If you look at the movie, you'll know how that happens. Yeah, her belief system, her core belief system in herself. It's a lot of humor in there, and I can't really even show you some of the things that were funny about that, because I got some big laughs from this. There's a very funny gag poking fun of kids shows. And then there's one really hilarious character that got a big laugh from the audience that's based on a video game or a video game type. I don't want to show you that because you need to see that for yourself, because it's very funny when you do see it. But overall, though, outside of that, I felt like, man, I know they're doing sequels, and I don't want them to really keep doing that with everything. There's another Toy Story coming out.
Hell yeah.
I was like, man, y'all ain't going to be happy till you that movie up. All right.
Yeah, it is like they just go like, okay, we're going to get it wrong this time. Ah, damn, we got it right again. All right.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah. But I will say, man, listen, if there was any movie that they were going to do a sequel to, it's this one. I think it's perfect for a sequel. It's set up. Puberty is the next stage, and that makes sense for this concept. And it makes sense for these characters to explore that. I feel like it'd be a wasted opportunity if they didn't. I mean, do we have to keep doing Toy Stories? No. But the next phase of Riley's life, yeah, that makes complete sense to me. And when they started doing it, I tell you, I love the way they introduced new emotions. That's why I thought that was such a cool concept. I like that they brought in, and this is why it makes sense to me, because they're bringing in emotions that are very different from 11-year-old Riley. You're going to have different emotions from a teenager. And I thought these characters were appropriate. They even brought in a team of girls. Because they're like, listen, we know the mistake of trying to write these movies from a kid's perspective is being an adult writing for kids. So they brought in girls as a team to study them and give their opinions and whatnot, and wrote it based on their emotions.
They put them in a glass cage and watch them.
And just let them fight.
like the Watchers.
Just let them go crazy until there was only one girl left. But like these characters they brought in, first of all, I like the way that they were brought in like a corporate takeover. He came in and just built everything unannounced and just told the old emotions, hey, get out the way. We're going to this is a whole new thing. And I thought they came in with funny little gags, like when the new construction crew was coming in with signs like, hey, pardon us, puberty is a mess and things like that. I thought that was pretty funny, but I like all the new emotions that they have here. I really like those characters. They all have their place and they all have their moment and they all seem to reflect properly what's going on with a teenager, especially a teenage girl. Because y'all know teenage girls, if y'all have teenagers, all teenagers, they all have attitude, but ain't nothing like the attitude of a teenage girl.
Well, yeah, but then with the boys, they just get really quiet.
Yeah.
They get their hoodies on, they cover up, and they got their phones, and you can't get 2 words out of them unless they're playing Call of Duty and they're cussing each other out and calling each other N-word.
And sometimes people would be all right with that, N-word and everything, as long as you ain't messing with me. Because a girl will sit up there and get quiet, but when she does say something, she got some little smart ass snarky thing to say, and that's why I was thinking like, man, I don't have a daughter, but I know people who have daughters, and I've seen this with other teenagers, like Inwe. Ennui, who's French and, is so bored by everyone, has this attitude of, I am just so bored by you all. You've seen that. And also, I love the designs of the characters. Like the rest of the team, like Embarrassment. I loved Embarrassment because I thought Embarrassment was a nice design because Embarrassment, obviously very shy, doesn't want anybody looking at him. But his ass is the biggest one in the room. I thought that was very clever. Thought that was really cool the way they did that. Only thing I would say is they don't do a lot with the character of Envy.
They really don't. Kept forgetting she was there.
Yeah, she only has a few moments there. So many characters now.
I don't even remember an Envy, a spot where Envy really played any kind of role in anything.
There was a moment where she was playing that role when she was looking at the other girls, the older girls, and being like, oh my God, I wish I had your style. You're cool, your hair, So she did play a moment, but I mean, come on, we're talking about twice the emotions now. So she's the one that kind of gets the least attention. But I think they nailed it. with the character of Anxiety.
Oh, this is Anxiety's movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even Joy is on a side quest because Anxiety is like, hey, I'm controlling the board. Everybody get out of the way. I'm controlling the board. You controlling the movie.
Yeah, get your ass out the way. First of all, I love her inside with that old insane ass face right there and those Muppet teeth. I love the design, and she lives up to her name. I think because she caused me a lot of anxiety. She pushes Joy out the way, and as Martin said, takes over not only this movie, but also takes over Riley as her main emotion, as the main control. And when she does that, you already are kind of anxious thinking that, oh man, this is going to have disastrous results right here.
In front of Val. She fails to impress the coach, does not become a firehawk, and finally arrives at high school. She has no one. She eats alone, and only the teachers know her name. Ew.
Okay, you and I are gonna be friends.
And it's the way they start, some of these characters, the way they reacted to the new emotions, like fear. Everybody's kind of like, who are these guys? And fear is like, oh my God, I love you. I love your attitude. I love your way you take control.
I do appreciate how anxiety was actually holding it down for a bit. But I knew. Look at that face. Yeah.
Oh, that crackhead face right there. I knew that she was going to mess up. And the reason why I think I was anxious watching this character, and the real reason why I love this character is because, this character was relatable. It's a relatable emotion for everybody at any stage of life. Anybody can come in, I feel, and watch this character right here and feel like, yeah, I've been through that. If it's not high school, our new friends, it's a new job. It's a new phase of life of any type. And I thought they really nailed anxiety down. I've been through those situations. Hell, just got out of one. So, I would say that my thing with anxiety, and it's not even a real complaint, I would just say that one of the things I liked a lot about the first Inside Out, it didn't have a personified villain. It didn't have a clear character there that was, trying to, do villainous things.
Yeah.
I would say that, and not completely, but you have anxiety being more of that type of character.
Well, if you think about it, there was no villain in the first one, but if there was one, it would have been Joy's anxiety.
Yeah. And so that's why I even say, I like that I like when movies don't follow the formula of, all right, especially with Disney and Pixar movies, that we have a clear-cut villain. And as I said, anxiety is not really a villain, but as you said, it does make sense for her to fill in that place as the somewhat antagonist of this movie.
I am truly sorry. I was so looking forward to working with you guys.
Wait,
she got muscle and everything.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wait a goddamn minute.
She got a henchman.
Riley's life is more complex now. You can't just bottle us up. Oh, that's a great idea.
They were like, Joy, shut up. The hell I can't. And I think that's actually the beauty of this movie, man. Because as you can tell, I like this movie a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
But I think the beauty of this movie for me, and the advantage over, and this is an advantage over the other movie for me. I think that this movie right here, I think that it's very relatable, not only with anxiety, but in all kind of ways. We've all been teenagers, and we've had periods where we're trying to fit into these new places and these new situations while fighting or trying to figure out, all our friendships and relationships along the way. As and as life forces us to keep going on, I think we can all, no matter what our gender is, our age, our way of life, or race, or anything, it crosses all those boundaries. I felt those anxieties in this movie right here. I feel the attitudes here, and it's still applying to me today. This is going to be a really great viewing experience for some parents, because if you go with your teenager that is actually in this age range right here, I think you both are going to have a lot to talk about when you come out, because you can share these emotions in different ways, but find some common ground.
Your teenager in this age range don't want to hang with you.
You want to see this goddamn movie, you will.
I'm going with my friends. It'd be so embarrassed. It'd be embarrassing to go with you. My mom, like I'm some little kid.
Or they finna go see Bad Boys.
They're telling you they're going to go see it. I don't know. If you happen to go with family night or something and you see it, or if you see it on streaming, I think you'd be able to sit back and watch it with your kids. And also, it's just, I'm talking about these emotions that they have right here. I still think that this is, this movie has a complex way of showing emotions and how it relates to our brains. There's jokes and there's puns that they do. Like they have the stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
They have the, they're having brainstorms and it's a big tornado with ideas inside of it, like little light bulbs and whatnot.
You like that?
I did. I thought they were visually just fun. And I thought some of them were funny, like the sarcasm.
Boy, are we so lucky we we ran into you guys. Boy, were we so lucky we ran into you guys.
Bitch.
I don't need this job.
I don't even know her.
Come over here and say that. No, I did like it because I thought, you know, I still thought they were clever, but they were puns. But if they had just left them as puns and just left them, you know, something as to laugh at, because I laughed at that scene right there, and it's already been seen in the trailer. If they just left it at that, I would have been like, all right, you know, this movie's really not doing anything that deep. But then they bring in some other things like suppressed memories. Mm-hmm. And they went very deep into complex emotions and talking about how suppressed memories and whatnot, how that affects us as a person. So by the end of this movie, man, they're doing some really cool things, showing you how, you know, memories and everything else shape who we are. And I thought that was really cool, man. I think if you really look at it especially for, and this is what I love about Pixar. This is why this is putting Pixar back on top for me, this movie right here. Now, I don't know how the others are gonna do, but this right here is the Pixar that we love, or at least that I love, because they make these, you know, family films, which some people will call children's movies, but then they really did some deep things with the storyline here. And in the 90s, they didn't just do it for laughs. And then when they do that at the end of the movie, it did happen. Now, I didn't cry or choke up. I don't ever cry no movies. No, I didn't choke up like I did in the last movie. But right here, I did find that the ending was emotional. You know, not in a way that was making me sad or anything. I just thought, man, you know, I'm really moved by the attention to detail and pretty much the intelligence that went into how they respected and treated emotions. But, you know, that's just me. I've seen some people that thought, I like the first one better, you know, and all that. And that's cool too. You know, so I think it's that kind of complex movie where people are going to see different things and it's going to affect you differently. And
absolutely.
And even how you like it.
Yeah, yeah. And how much you are or are not affected by anxiety. Because even though, you know, it didn't have a big effect on me, talking to some of the people who suffer from anxiety, they said it hit home for them. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can totally see that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's a good movie. I think it's a very good movie. And maybe if I'd never seen the first one, I'd be over the moon with this one. I thought so many of the jokes that, even though like, yeah, this is funny, but it wasn't the like, oh, you really got me with that one. And there's so many of those. There's a lot of things in it that just felt very obvious, if I might say. And I wasn't sure if I was really thought that until you just played some of the clips there. And I was like, yeah, that is how I felt about it. But I hate sounding like I'm down on the movie because I think it's a very good movie. I think it's good to see. It didn't hit for me the way the first one did. If that, you know, come away with that. I mean, so many things you said, you're right, they're in there. I think they weren't handled with the same agility. But, you know, there's some of that like, well, we already kind of covered this, so, you know. I mean, I feel like it was doing that a lot. Like, yeah, you get it. You get it. And also, it would have been cool to see some of the other girls going through the same thing that she's going through the puberty. It's like, is she the only one with, you know, if there were more of them going through that, you know, I don't know, that would have worked for me. It's one of these things like, you know, between the first movie and Turning Red, those really got to me. And with this one, I was like, this is good. I'm just not as like, you know, like I said, it's not hitting the same way.
Yeah, boy, I can see those emotions in your head right now. What do we do? Give the rating. What would you rate it?
Oh, you know what? I would give this a very, very high matinee.
Yeah, I'm probably not too far ahead of you here. If there was any difference between this and the last movie, this would probably be, it would just be a margin, like a hardly noticeable margin step down. Because I just look at them as, they are, you know, they're sequels, but Riley dealing with the stage of their life did make it kind of a different movie for me. So yeah, I'd give it a full price. I enjoyed it. I really did. I just take them as almost the same, just a, you know, different movie. But I had a lot of fun with it, and I had a good time. So
how's that feel about the animation in the film?
Man, I don't know. What do you feel?
I mean, it's Pixar. They always, everything with them is top notch. Even when you don't like the movie, you're like, that animation though. You gotta give it to
exactly.
them. They're the kings of that. And anytime you're like, I don't know about that, somebody else puts out one of these movies, you're like, nah, man, Pixar.
I found that's a great question because I found the designs to really stand out to me. The animation is always going to be great, but I always, even with the first one, I just always wondered what was the inspiration behind making these look like Muppets in a way, because you can see like the texture on a lot of these characters. It looks like felt. It looks like puppets in a way.
Yeah, it's weird because sometimes it looks like felt, but sometimes it looks like just little tiny balls of light.
Yeah. They look so soft. I just want to touch them, and some of them are like candy. I want to eat some of them, but I love the designs on this. I mean, it's such a, like I said, it's such a Muppety design, and it's a great contrast to the real world. I just wonder why they chose that, which I love it. I love it. I wonder what the inspiration was for that. But yeah, that's one thing that stood out. It stood out for me in the last movie, I think, and it stands out here very much. So yeah, I would say that's the thing about Pixar. And like Martin said, the animation is always going to be great. I think it's the design today that decides it.
Like I'm looking at Anxiety's hair, like shit.
Yeah, I know. It's those Muppet feathers, man.
Yeah, like
And
damn.
is that Maya Hawke doing the voice of Anxiety?
Yeah,
she does a great job.
Yeah, no, Maya Hawke is doing the voice of Anxiety, and she's she's great. She's actually great. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, and you did too.